Want to hone your craft as a digital marketer and get expert insights from thought leaders and industry experts? Welcome to the How I Work podcast. I'm your host, Josh Becerra, founder and president of Agurian. Follow us on Twitter at Agurian Tweets or subscribe to our YouTube channel for more great content. Now, here's the episode of the podcast. Hi, everybody. This is Josh Becerra from Agurian. Welcome to the next episode of How I Work. I'm super excited to have Ashleigh Wilson, founder and CEO of AuditMate, with me today. Hi, Ashleigh.
Hi, Josh. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm super excited about this conversation. So AuditMate is basically the first ever elevator and escalator auditing and management software platform. That is super cool. I know that you are, when we were prepping for this, you were like a self-proclaimed elevator baby. So why don't you tell us a little bit about why you're an elevator baby, how you got into this, and now you got this amazing software.
Yeah, thank you. You know, I think when I still hear first ever elevator and escalator auditing software, even though I built it, I still go, what the heck is that? Because people, it's so unique. But yeah. So I was raised in the industry. My stepdad was in the elevator and escalator industry my entire life. So it's really all I've ever known. That and my dad was an entrepreneur. So I kind of had this like best of both worlds between the like door-to-door salesman and then your like blue collar mechanic turned district manager. And then I joined the industry myself in my early 20s. So wow. I've been around elevators and entrepreneurship my whole life.
Well, so I know a little bit more about your story. So you need to kind of give yourself some more kudos. Talk a little bit about what you were doing in the industry before you started the software.
Yeah. So I thought that I would be the first female president of one of the major elevator corporations. I was getting mentored by the US CEO. I was participating in global research projects, so reporting both to Switzerland and the US. And I quickly found that customers were an afterthought, right?
Yeah.
The skyrocketing profits in the industry were direct results of customers not understanding their contracts and elevator companies just not doing their job.
Right.
And I left on the tail end of a global research project on portfolio protection that, it basically boiled down to like, hey, let's focus on people. Let's do right by people.
Yeah.
Elevators are not canceling contracts. Humans are canceling contracts, right? And we need to have a little more empathy for our client and what our clients' needs are and what they care about, because what we care about is different than what they care about. We're really only focusing on ourselves here and the profits. And
I had to be really good, right? It's really high margin when you don't actually deliver on your contracts.
That's right. So I had a CEO look at me and say that empathy could be a great competitive advantage in the industry. And at that point, I basically put my hands in the air and I was like, I cannot anymore. Yeah. I don't want to teach people how to professionally gaslight customers into not understanding more about their contracts, right? Yeah. Like, let's make the expectations align with the deliverables here and really have human connections and do our jobs.
Yeah, I think that's awesome for a couple of reasons. So the first, you like kind of were fed up with the industry or whatever, and instead of just like leaving and going into a different industry, you're like, nope, you know what, I'm actually gonna like solve this, and I'm gonna you're obviously very values driven, and so you've now figured out a way to help people get the most out of those contracts so that they don't feel like they're getting, there's being gaslighted. So kudos to you.
Thanks.
So when we talk about obviously values are really important at Agurian. We have, our core values. We try to live by them. Talk to me a little bit about how you've been able to translate that to building this values-driven company, you know, taking your personal values and then building this values-driven company? What does that look like for you?
Yeah, it looks a lot like being human.
Yeah.
So for us, we have a few things that we say a lot around here. One is people, product, profits.
Mm-hmm.
We always put people first, right?
Yeah.
It starts with, what is it good for me? Is it good for my team? Is it good for my client? Is it good for my vendors?
Mm-hmm.
And then product, and then profits, right? Like these things go in that order. And when we focus on people, profits come. I promise. I promise, when you do the right thing, they come.
Yeah.
And that's really what I'm set out to disassemble, is that belief system, right?
Mm-hmm.
That we need to focus on profits to grow profits. No.
Right.
Focus on the right things. Focus on people and doing right by each other. And the rest falls into place organically.
Yeah.
And that kind of, sorry, go ahead. I was just going to say that goes hand in hand with our North Star, which is be excellent to each other. And that's internally and externally, right? AuditMate's vision doesn't really have anything to do with elevators. It's that we believe that everyone should be treated with respect, dignity, and their best interest in mind, inside and outside of our organization, and really be a change maker.
Yeah. I mean, I think you're so right. Like, the level of authenticity that you can have with your team and with your clients enables like amazing things to happen. So at Agurian, we have our why, right? The Simon Sinek why, how, what. Our why is to grow our people, clients, and company so that together we can do extraordinary things. And we were pretty intentional about the order of that. It's like, if we grow our people and we grow our clients, we know that our company will grow. We know that those profits will come. And if we do those things together, we'll do extraordinary things. So totally aligned. Like, I am totally vibing on the idea of like just building values-driven organizations.
Right.
You know, I remember that you said at one point you had the opportunity for this significant leadership role, and you decided against it. And what you said was, you don't slay dragons from the inside.
Dinosaurs. You don't slay dinosaurs from the inside.
Okay. Well, you don't slay dinosaurs from the inside. So what have you learned about being like this industry change agent, this person who's like out there banging the pans together where nobody else is like trying, like, don't listen to her. Like, what does it feel like to be that change agent?
In the beginning, it felt like I was just an annoying fly, right? Like, I'm just like, I'm an annoying fly to these big dinosaurs, and I just won't go away, and I won't die, right? And then you're right, like banging the pans. And really what I'm doing a lot of is educating the client on the value that they're currently receiving and what they should be receiving. And that, guess what? They hold the power.
Yeah.
The clients have the power. They are the client. And in the elevator industry for a long time, the elevator companies have held all the power because they hold all the knowledge, right? And so by bringing these things into visibility, and by increasing transparency, and by increasing awareness, and by increasing education, people are like, oh, wait, this is my money.
Yeah.
This isn't your money. This is my money. And so it starts to shift that dynamic around. And I don't know that I'm doing much besides just really helping people see their power, and educating folks.
Yeah. So obviously, like, people who are get connected into the software, now they're like receiving data that maybe they didn't have before. So now they're educated on like what they need to hold their the contracts to account on. How are you, this is kind of a marketing podcast, right? And so I'm just curious, like, how are you helping to educate the industry, like if you think about it in marketing terms? Are you speaking at a
Yeah.
lot of conferences? What kind of things are you doing, either online or offline to like actually hit those goals for educating people?
The first thing is, which was really important from us from day one, right? You talk about elevators and escalators, and you're losing people immediately, right? Like you lose people at the end, and they're like, "Okay, I'm checking out, don't care," right?
Right.
Speaking in layman's terms, we talk a lot about like sixth grade reading level.
Mhm.
Like the elevator industry uses insane acronyms. You're using words that people are like, "Is that even a real word? Like, what
Yeah.
are you talking about?" And so for us, in all of our marketing and the way that we talk to clients was, we get you what you're paying for. We speak elevator, but we work for you.
Yeah.
And really using this language that makes the industry and the content so much more accessible,
Mhm.
because the people that are managing elevator contracts are not elevator experts, and
Right.
they don't want to be, they're never
No,
going to be, right?
they want
But
to
they own
pay
the app.
experts to come and do it.
Totally. So that was really the first thing, was like, let's strip out all of the pretentious elitist language from this, and let's make it really simple. um and for me, that's one of the, like, the truest signs of intelligence, is when you can take something that's super complex and make it accessible to everybody.
Yeah.
um and then what are we doing? I used to shoot little quick snippet videos on LinkedIn of me just like ranting about elevator companies.
Yeah.
um Podcasts, we do videos, a lot of like cartoon graphic videos
Mhm.
online, again, just to make it like easily digestible and simple. Like,
Love
we're
that.
going to increase your maintenance, we're going to decrease your costs. Here's how, right? Like, not overcomplicating or inundating, or this like over and above, like, we're here when you need us.
Sure. I love that. Yeah. I mean, I feel like sometimes as marketers, we get so in our heads about things and start using the acronyms and like speaking at this like high level, and it just all gets lost in translation. And so
Mhm.
then like you're not going to hit your goals. So I like that you're thinking about like what are the easiest ways to just like connect with that audience and speak
Mhm.
to them in terms that they're going to understand and appreciate,
Yeah.
because nobody likes to get like spoken down or feel like they're getting spoken
No.
down to or something like that, right?
Totally. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, cool. So I one of the things that you hit on was like uh really pitching the benefits, right? So
Mhm.
I love that you're like saying, we can just like reduce your costs and make sure that you're getting the right kind of maintenance. Um, what other kind of big benefits are you seeing that like resonate with your current customer base?
Mhm. I often say we save you time, money, and headaches,
Hmm.
because there's so much frustration
Yeah.
into managing an elevator vendor, that you're spending just copious amounts of time.
Hmm.
But it's not just time, because you're annoyed the whole time, right?
Yeah.
So the time, money, and headaches is something that I love saying, just because we're reducing the so much frustration and taking work off of our clients' plates.
And I think like what's brilliant about the software then is that you've been able to pinpoint like where are the where are those opportunities where we can't, where
Mhm.
time savings can actually, where we can streamline things, where we can make things more efficient or easier, so that like the software takes care of the thinking, and you may get a notification or log into a dashboard and that's all you need to do. um I just think it's really smart.
Thank you.
Yeah. Cool. Well, one of the last questions that I have that I always ask people on this podcast is, where you're getting your inspiration from, any authors, thought leaders that you're listening to, like that I should be listening to, like what are some of the things you're either reading or listening to that you think the audience might like to hear about?
Yeah. So current book on my nightstand is Deep Work.
Okay.
I'm always fascinated in looking into, the attention economy, right? So we're talking about like the instant scrolling and the dings and the bings and all of that.
Yeah.
And being able to truly disconnect and get into deep work. One, I think that's good for building software because we need to know like what's actually valuable, right? Not this like surface level crap, like getting into the deep, the nitty gritty.
Yeah.
And it's also just really good for mental health, right?
Yeah.
How can I work in alignment with my own equilibrium to be the best leader that I can be? And then as far as who I love, both Brene Brown and Glennon Doyle. So the idea of brave leadership, courageous cultures, creating environments where people can be authentic, where being diverse is not enough. You must be radically inclusive. And with radical inclusivity comes, Brene Brown says, great leader, heal thyself. And you can't be a great leader unless you're taking a look at your own bullshit and your own biases and the things that we're unconscious of. And we have to be conscious of the way that we view the world, which that's just what we're given, right? That's just how we were raised. And then it's our job as adults to break it down, right? And to take a good look at it. And then Glennon Doyle to me is just the way that she speaks about being human and doing hard things and just really being open about mental health and the differences in humans, right? She's a major introvert, and what does that look like? Like, how are we a leader of our families, of our companies, and also, take into consideration how we operate as humans allows us to have compassion for how other people operate as humans.
Yeah. I love all that. I mean, we at Agurian, we have a book club. We read Dare to Lead earlier this year together. And there's just what I love about like the way that Brene Brown kind of the frameworks or the things that she brings is it's more of like just, hey, like, don't be so hard on yourself. Like this is who you are. And, we're all imperfect. And we just have to like own the fact that we come from our experiences. Those aren't always good. They don't always model the right things. And we need to just own that, like, that's our experience and that we're imperfect and that we just need to be real enough with one another, have the candor and the kind of grace with one another to be able to have hard conversations, which I think sometimes in business and teams with clients, people are unwilling to go there. They're like that level of vulnerability is hard to achieve in business. So I think it's super cool that you're pushing on all those edges.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, awesome. Well, that's probably all the time we have for today. But Ashleigh, I want to say again, thank you so much for being here. We love like your values driven, like fight against the big corpse attitude, and wish you the best of luck.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you for listening to the How I Work podcast with Josh Becerra. If you like what you heard, make sure you subscribe. To learn more about Agurian and for more digital marketing tips and insights, head to agurian.com.